Hello, I'm Maggie Park. I am the Market Development Manager for the United States for study in Wales. So I'm in this session just going to give you a quick crash course of how this works, why it could work for your students, or if you are a student, how it could work for you, about studying overseas. I'm from the US myself, and I did this. I still live here in Wales, and I came over in order to my master's and my PhD. I came over because it was a shorter degree. It was faster than in the US. It's 3 years for an undergraduate degree, 1 year for a master's, and 3 years for a PhD. All degrees are completely equivalent to US degrees. Certifications you have to check, but the degrees are degrees, and they transfer back just fine. Shorter because we don't do gen eds. You're just going to study your subject. So that's kind of the main big difference. So before I get to that, let's just take a look, some basics. Where's Wales? Where are we? We're in the UK. We're that bit in red. About 3 hours on a direct train to London from where I live, about 2 hours on a direct train from South Wales. I'm about an hour and a half from Manchester, and I'm about a 7-hour flight to the East Coast, a 10-hour flight to the West Coast. So you get very used to that very quickly. I used to drive 6 hours from Pennsylvania to Virginia for school, and now I fly 7 hours, so not too different. I'm actually going to put my summary slide first because I think this is the most useful stuff for you. Degrees equal to a US degree. It's a shorter, more focused degree. If you're studying chemistry, it's all you're going to study. There's no gym requirement. There's no French requirement. You can take those things for fun, but it's not part of your course. You don't pay for them. You ask the professor if you can sit in an audit, and they usually say yes. All of our campuses also have programs for languages and special interests just for free as part of what we do. It's just not part of your degree. Comparable universities in the United States are between $35,000 and $55,000 a year. The ones that I was looking at were $48,000 and $52,000 a year. And the school I ended up at was $11,000 a year. And after scholarships, I was paying $7,000. A lot of our campuses are also on the FAFSA, so you can use US federal loans, the GI Bill. There's loads of scholarships at each institution. So this quickly becomes an incredibly affordable option. It's often cheaper than community college, about on par with community or state schools if you're in state, that kind of idea. So you can start thinking about how that would work. Entry requirements, we're basically looking for what US students would expect. We want to see your GPA. We do want to see standardized tests, but the Welsh institutions have become test optional, test flexible, especially because of COVID. So if you have them, submit them. If you don't, what we need is evidence that you are skilled in the area that you are applying to study with us. So because we're subject specific and because British students focus so much earlier, we need to have evidence that you're okay at that level. So you're going to succeed when you come into these programs. So that could be AP classes, SAT2 subject tests, that could be IB courses, that could be community college or online classes. It might be professional experience, so maybe you've done a couple of years work in the industry and you can bring that into the application. But that's all the kind of stuff that we would be looking for to make sure that you have that expertise, that ability when you come into our programs. Excuse me. So there's more details about entry requirements, as I was just saying. Our main thing is that we try to be transparent. So each campus has a representative for the US, and you can email them basically with the transcript and say, I want to study this, will I get in? And they'll be able to tell you, yes, you can, no, you can't, this we need to see. They'll be very clear. So transparency is a big thing in the UK, which is quite different than US applications. Two more differences I want to point out. The letter of recommendation needs to be an academic reference. It's great if somebody knows you really well. You can always send a direct to the university supplementary recommendation, but your main recommendation should be an academic professional that can speak to your ability in that field. So really say, yep, they're excellent in this field. They should study this. You should have them. That's what we want to see in the submission on the application. The personal statement is also very different than the US one. It should be like a cover letter to a job application. Tell us why you want to study this subject, what got you into it, what independent research have you done about the field, how much do you know about it, why are you interested in it, have you done any internships or work shadowing, things like that, read any journal articles. There's lots of examples on YouTube about how to put this together. And again, your US champion at your campus will be happy to help you put this together as well. And then just a couple pretty things to show you. So Wales has a lot of castles. really beautiful place to live. We're along the coast, 3 national parks that make up a quarter of the country, and they're pretty much always within 20 minutes or so of any of our Welsh campuses. We have a bustling capital city, but it's really safe and accessible, easy to walk around, but it does feel like a capital city. Our campuses have some stunning architecture that, yes, does look like Hogwarts, but also really beautiful. So your classes could take place in things like this. We also have lots of student support. We pick students up at the airport, bring them back to the dorms, help out with things like getting a job, opening a bank account, how do you get a doctor's appointment, all that living abroad stuff we're really good at. So we'll happily help you through that process. We also have single accommodation. You don't share in the UK. So you'll have your own bedroom and your own bathroom, usually on campus. If you'd rather live off campus, we have offices that can help you find off-campus accommodation as well. And I'm going to stop there. So that's very much a crash course, but I hope that just shows you that this is an option. Shorter, cheaper, beautiful, similar calendar to the US, similar application process. And if you do have any questions, please do reach out. We also have weekly drop-in sessions for Wales Wednesdays. Sign up to our newsletter to get that, or check out our YouTube page. We'll be happy to help however we can. Thanks very much.